siento moya. Hey, jumbo jumbo.
Welcome to episode 51. 51 of Only Good News. By the way, we're going to play a quick commercial break after this. We're going to go to our sponsors. Okay, we're going to hear from sponsors and we'll be right back. Cable.
More and more cable customers are getting their cable internet package upgraded for free.
I paid 3 months and I got upgraded from Flash to Bolt. So now I'm actually paying less for more.
Yes, up to double speeds and savings of up to $200 per month just for using your card to pay your bill.
I had this Bolt package, then I got this Platinum card and I paid my bill with that. They have upgraded me to Strike, which is almost double the speed now.
All it takes is a little loyalty. Use your Cable Platinum Loyalty MasterCard to pay 3 consecutive cable bills.
I was upgraded from Flash to the Bolt after paying my bill on time for 3 consecutive months, and I'm now enjoying the free upgrade.
To keep the upgrade, just continue using your Platinum Loyalty Card to pay your cable bills. Pay your bill in-store or online at www.thecable.net. Sign up for the Cable Platinum Loyalty Card today and get more. Terms and conditions apply.
And we are back. 51 episodes of Only Good News. We have a jam-packed show ahead of you for you guys, and let's get the show on the road. Last week we had our very own Springer, who lives in Antigua, and we talked a lot of sports. And right on the eve of when track and field events were about to begin at the Olympics, and let's just say if we had placed bets on who would win that 400 hurdles race, I would have won outright. So anyway, this is Only Good News. We just talk about good stuff that's happening here locally, regionally, internationally. And one of the top stories that I was going to talk about, that I want to talk about, is, how our local athletes did. That's Jason Rogers and Amia Clark. Jason reached the semifinals and Amia reached the heats from the preliminary rounds. I won't say they will be too happy with them not reaching the finals, but at the end of the day, I think they did very well, and it was commendable to see them on that stage, especially with Amia, with her hair, her red hair, made for some viral posts on Instagram. I think the World Athletics made a point about. I think they made a point about her hair. I can't remember what it was, but it was making the rounds. So kudos. Other good stuff that was going on at the Olympics. The 400 hurdles was epic, both the men and the women. And Kyra McMaster did the Caribbean very well, very proud. I think he ran 47.03 over hurdles. Put that in perspective. I've run 47.01 without hurdles. That means if he was running over barriers, he would have almost beaten me. That's how good he was and is. And I'm pretty sure he's going to break that 47 barrier just soon. Elaine Thompson was the queen of the sprints. And that was a bit of a bittersweet experience because, Shelly Ann Fraser did not really seem too happy about that. But that's not what we're going to talk about. Other feel-good moment from the Olympics was Barshim and Tamberi. That's in the high jump. They could have had a jump off, but they decided to share a gold medal. Talk about putting your pride at bay and just understand and listen, there's nothing we can lose if we both have the gold anyway. The Nigerian sprinter, long jumper, S.A. Broom, got a bronze medal. I thought she was going to get gold, but she lost the silver on the very last jump. Kirani James did us very well from the Caribbean, getting bronze, and Andy DeGrassi was just epic. He's a big-time performer. And Arian Knighton, that's the kid who is Boltesque from the U.S., got 4th in the 200, but he's one to watch for in the next 4 years. And talk about the Jamaicans. The Jamaicans did really, really well. They upset the Americans in the 110 hurdles. And let's not talk about the 4x1. We're not going to talk about that. Other feel-good moments was when Isaiah Jewett and the Botswana 800-meter runner Nigel Amos bumped into each other. And that was, I think, at the semis. And they decided to actually run the race together afterwards. So good stuff was happening at the Olympics, right? And, what we're seeing happening is there are lots of us who are trolling these athletes on social media and for not performing up to par. And, mental health has been on the forefront with some of our stars out there. Talking about even Noah Lyles admitted he was on antidepressants. Simone Biles with her mental health concerns. Who else? Naomi Osaka. All of them, it's a thing now. So why we can't troll them for not performing at their best when they put out what they felt was their best. So we need to be mindful of that. All right. Shout out to the UK High Commission of St Kitts, featuring yours truly earlier today as an author. Plugging my first novel. Some of you may not know. But I wrote a book titled "The Becoming of Adair Inside Out: The Not So True but Funny Sperm and the Egg Story of How My Daughter Came Into Being." It's a satirical illustrated book of the sperm and the egg story, but in a different way, like through my eyes. Really, really, really crazy. So you guys can check it out on Amazon. It's just an ebook for now. I'm not sure if I'm going to do any prints. Anyway, that's enough of me talking about that. I'm banging my mouth. Tonight, I'm going to have a co-host, which is actually my guest. But, just like what we did with Jovan a few weeks ago, that's the lead reporter and anchor from 284 Media and the BVI. She brought much good news and banter. And tonight, we're going to have the same with my guest, Trent. Is she connected? Yeah. So that's Vanetta Phillip. Now, Vanetta is from St. Lucia. A social media strategist, a model, coach, an entrepreneur who did a wonderful job of hosting the recently held Entrepreneurship World Cup in St. Lucia finals. And actually, that's where I first saw her and was drawn to her energy and silently said to myself, I have to have her on my show. But before we get into chatting, she had I gave her some homework to do. I told her to bring some good news for you guys from the St. Lucia diaspora, and I'm hoping that she's not going to talk about anything about the government changing. She's not talk about politics, right? We're going to talk about other things. So I can't see her yet, but I hope she can hear me, and I hope she share the live. Vanetta, without a vendetta, can I see you? Can you hear me? I want, if you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can't hear me, don't clap. Okay, fine. She can't hear me. I can hear her laugh. Talk to me, Vanetta. How are you doing? What do you have to report on? The good stuff. We're not talking about politics tonight. Talk to me.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me, Aonte. I'm so careful about your name.
You butchered it just now after saying it so earlier, but it's okay. No problem. No problem. It's okay. We'll get to that later. So
good.
You did your homework, right? Let me see how well I could grade you. What you gonna talk to us about?
Okay. The first set of good news I want to report on is that the entrepreneurs in the Caribbean are on the up and up. I think that is a piece of good news worthy of sharing.
Yes. And also a sore topic from me. I can't believe you brought that up. But okay. All right. Well, we are going to talk a little bit more. My other piece of good news that I wanted to talk about was, you know how we always like to bash Walmart for not being, very kind to the employees and whatever. I just read that Walmart has announced a plan to pay 100% of college tuition plus books for its workers. Walmart will be investing, nearly $1 billion over the next 5 years in career-driven training and development for its workers. Now, the largest U.S. private employer, the company announced last week that it will pay 100% of college tuition and books for its associates through its Live Better You, LBU education program. Now, as of August 16, the $1 a day fee will be removed for associates, making all education programs paid for by Walmart. This means that 1.5 million part-time and full-time Walmart and Sam's Club associates from the U.S. can earn college degrees or learn trade skills without the burden of education debt. Ain't that some good news?
That is absolutely amazing.
Now,
Absolutely.
now, only if, everybody else can follow suit, like Jeff Bezos. I mean, he just flew to space. I mean, come on, share the goodness, man. Share the goodness.
Absolutely.
Share the
I totally
goodness.
agree. Share it on this side of the hemisphere,
Sweet stuff. And I told you come with something else, eh? What else are you gonna talk about? Nothing else?
Let's see. So you blanked out one of the things that I think is a piece of good news in the beginning. So I'm going to,
Now I was just
follow with my lecturer. My lecturer said, "Hey, we're not going to talk about this." So.
No, I'm listen. I was just pulling your legs. Go ahead and talk about it, man. We good. It's fair game. Talk about it.
I'm learning in this class. Okay, great. All right. I think the piece of good news that I wanted to share is that to talk about the strength of the democratic right of a people.
Right. Yes.
And I would like to look at it at that angle.
Yes. Yes. You're learning.
As a great. As a businesswoman, I cannot paint any colors. I am all for my people. St. Lucian born and bred, I am all for my people. And we want progress and we want stability. And I was able to witness people operating in their democratic right ever so strongly, and they chose a new government. We can only, continue to hope and of course pray that, the powers that be are actually going to take us into the next season of development as a country.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, and I've always wondered why. Here's the conundrum I always find. Okay, we're gonna talk a little about politics, but here's the conundrum I always find weird when it comes to politics. Like, nobody ever goes into politics deciding they're going to mash up a country. So
yeah,
everybody claims they want what's best for the country, and it's if I was your husband, right? If I was your husband, and I know I'm making you happy, I know I'm taking care of your needs, I know there is nothing that I wouldn't do to make sure that you're taken care of, right? And you validate that to me constantly. Now, let's say somebody else, after 4 years, we get a chance to test our marriage and say, let somebody else come and try to woo you away from me.
great.
Why then will I have to go and spend a lot of money to remind you of the things that you already know that I'm doing for you? Why would I remind you of the things that you have told me that I do for you? If I come and tell you, like, hey, V, like, can't you see I'm doing this for you? You're like, no, you're crazy. I know you're doing this for me. Why are you reminding me? So I've always wondered, if you're really doing what's best for the country, why do you have to remind us when we should all really know and feel that that's what you're actually doing? I never really understood it. I've never understood it. And I never probably will, and that's why I'm not going to run for politics. I don't know if you can drop any knowledge on that.
Very well, but I like your way of looking at it when you use the example of being in a marriage, because in truth and in fact, if you have to think of a great analogy, that would be a fantastic one. And as you brought it up, it got me thinking as well. I think the reason, maybe it's habit, or maybe the system in itself is faulty from the start. But I believe what causes, the government of the day to remind the people is maybe because they themselves do not believe in their hearts that the people see or the people know what they've done. And I like what you said very much, because in truth and in fact, if a government was doing exactly what they were supposed to do and really put their ear on the ground, listening to the people and really putting their hearts into pleasing. When I say pleasing the people, I say it very loosely.
Right, I understand.
But really taking care of what needs to be taken care of, then they really would not have to worry about the polls.
Thank you. They won't have to campaign.
They wouldn't have to really campaign. They would just put up one poster which says,
Hey, don't forget to vote. Don't forget to vote.
Don't exercise your democratic rights.
That's
today. It. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and that is something that I'm hoping that the leaders of the Caribbean are really listening into conversations like this, because I think that the time is coming that the generation that is here, like in regards to the voting generation, they're starting to get out of the color blindness and really understand that, hey, you know what? It's not about colors anymore. I mean, our parents, grandparents, I grew up in a household where I sat at my father's knee looking at news, and he was teaching me about, the history of this one and the history of that one. So it's like I have been, I'm aware of what's happening in regards to that. The time is coming that people will just veer away from, oh, this is my favorite, party and stuff of that nature, and really look at the nitty-gritties as to what exactly has been happening, and kind of view where we were 5 years ago and where we are now. Is there progress? And can we trust these same people with that progress? So that's a very, very good point that you brought up.
Yay! We talked politics and it wasn't bad. See?
Awesome.
It can happen. It can happen.
Yes.
Well, that's it for our top stories and good news and everything. So we're going to take a very, very short break. And when we come back, we're going to chat. We're going to chat for about 35 minutes. All right, we'll be right back.
More and more cable customers are getting their cable internet package upgraded for free.
I paid 3 months and I got upgraded from Flash to Bolt. So now I'm actually paying less for more.
Yes, up to double speeds and savings of up to $200 per month just for using your card to pay your bill.
I had this Bolt package, then I got this platinum card and I paid my bill with that. They have upgraded me to Strike, which is almost double the speed now.
All it takes is a little loyalty. Use your Cable Platinum Loyalty MasterCard to pay 3 consecutive cable bills.
I was upgraded from Flash to the Bolt after paying my bill on time for 3 consecutive months, and I'm now enjoying the free upgrade.
To keep the upgrade, just continue using your Platinum Loyalty Card to pay your cable bills. Pay your bill in-store or online at www.thecable.net. Sign up for the Cable Platinum Loyalty Card today and get more. Terms and conditions apply.
All right. We are back. So, can you see me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, clap once. Okay. I can't me hear the clap, y'all. Me here, I can't hear any clap. What is happening? Vanetta, can you hear me? Vanetta, can you hear me? Talk to me. Okay, wonderful.
Yes,
Wonderful. So we're here with the lovely Vanetta without a vendetta. Vanetta, the managing director of Evolution Model Management, the CEO, founder of company Model Magnifique Training School, the lead image consultant company for VP Image Consultants and everything. Thank you for being here. I always start by asking what's good. Talk to me.
Thank you very much for having having me. And you forgot Managing Director of Evolution Public Relations Management.
Fine. Throw that in there. Because I'm part of this conversation is to get to know you. Because people, we haven't spoken before, by the way. This is one of these interviews or conversations that is a bit of a discovery. I wanted to challenge myself. You say from time to time I have a guest on who I don't have any social capital with. This is one of them. But we're gonna definitely bring the energy, bring it in this conversation. So yeah, talk to me. What's good?
What's good? Well, I would say it was a beautiful day in St. Lucia today. We had a little bit of rain. It was a very relaxing day. I got some work done. And I was excited about coming on tonight because I have absolutely no idea what you're going to ask at all.
Interesting.
And so I am like, okay, this is EWC St. Lucia Finals once again.
Right.
Don't know what to expect. So
okay.
I'm just going to represent as best as I can.
Represent yourself. But I'm curious to know what came to your mind when you saw this random quirky fella asking you to come on his show. And be honest.
Okay, well, to be honest, when you started to talk to me on LinkedIn, I'm like, oh, this is the best money dude. I remember him from the finals of EWC, you know, and I was intrigued. I was like, okay, I don't mind. Let's get into stuff because I'm all for, you know, challenges and new things, innovation. So if, you know, somebody who invented such an interesting app, I'm game to see whatever it is that he has to, you know, talk about and offer. So here I am.
Thank you. And you signed up. I saw that. Good job.
I did.
Proud of you.
Did.
Proud of you.
I have not yet navigated, but
don't worry. After the show, you will.
Okay, good. Good. I'm glad.
So so I would trust that, you know, did you do a credibility check, or you just use the EWC as a reference to be like, he's good people?
Oh, well, you know, I did check out your LinkedIn profile.
Right.
I did, you know,
okay.
I did a little something,
awesome.
You know.
Good, as you should, because that's
not too much, but I did enough to accept the connection request. Yes.
Awesome. So, you know, I'm going to give you a little anecdote. You know, St. Lucia, the year was 2000, July, to be honest. I was 18 years, and my big brother was scheduled to get married in St. Lucia. And I think this was the first wedding I'd actually been to ever, or maybe in years. I was 18. And
okay.
Anyway, I had to be one of the groomsmen. And if you look at pictures of the wedding, I looked outright miserable because I was unhappy. I was not paired with one of the bridesmaids, Jody Phillip. Jody was paired with Antonio, who I had a huge crush on Jody, but I was punked because I thought that she had liked him because she was paired with him. And anyway, the cut story short, at this wedding is where my buddy Alex met Adele, Aleutian. Alex was paired with Adele. They met at the wedding, and before he came back to St. Kitts, he proposed to her. They got married. The next year, they're still married. Clyde, another friend of mine, actually set the trend, marrying Gardenia Destang, another Lucian. Then my brother married another Lucian, Vincent Cherry. I mean, something was going on during those 2000s with Kittitians marrying Lucians. So I want you to tell me what is it that is about Lucian women that would have been that appealing to these men? Oh, I forgot. Kevin Bennett and Sharon Tisson, another Kittitian married. I mean, this is like, I can't call it an epidemic. It's just a trend. It happened. What is it? Is it the water? Is it the food? What is it about Lucian women that you think?
Well, thank you for putting me on the spot. I cannot speak for all St. Lucian women, but one thing I can say about us is that because a lot of Caribbean men have said we are a different ilk. We are a different ilk. I can speak for myself when I say we. We are very direct, I believe. And we're very proud of who we are. We're unapologetic about our culture, about our French Creole, about, you know, our island. And we're real people. I think we're very real people. You will notice a St. Lucian wherever you go.
Aww.
You will. And I say that with all the best intentions.
Okay.
All the best intentions. Yes.
Well, I hope that was a good icebreaker for you. And we're going to get to know a little bit more. I'm curious to know, how do your friends typically describe you, though?
My friends would describe me as, wow. My friends would describe me as a stylish, workaholic, ambitious, faithful friend. And they would also say that I love people. Yeah. And I'm saying that thinking of like what a couple of people have said to me before. So that's why it was kind of choppy. But yeah, I think that that's a fair assumption of what I'm thinking my friends would say. Hopefully they're in the comments and they would back me up.
Well,
people, come on, back up.
So far in the comments, you have Anil, Kyla, Sam, Kenisia, Nisa Darling saying, hey V, Michelle and Samuel saying good night to you both. St. Lucia watching. So
Yes.
yeah, you brought your people. So far, so good. So
You guys, love y'all.
so with what you just described, would that be consistent with what they would have been describing you when you were little, or something happened, something changed?
No, I don't. I think I've been consistent throughout. I have always loved being busy, especially when I was younger. I always wanted to be involved in activities that would progress me, that I would always be curious about other cultures, be curious about travel. Though I have not crossed out of the Caribbean as yet into the greater continents, which is definitely the plan. I love to be active. It's very hard for me to slow down. I think for me to slow down and for me to relax, I think everybody that knows me will tell you, Vanetta will not relax. And, you know, even though my body would start doing some shutting down sequences on me, unfortunately, I know the people around me that really care about me say, you know, V, no, you need to
slow down.
Yeah, so I'm learning to slow down, take deep breaths, and, you know, look at the little things. And instead of just trying to get into something, but to just find the center and keep the center.
So if you have a trouble slowing down, how come we're not reading about you in Tokyo now, or back in Rio, or back in London? Like, that's what we're supposed to have, people who have trouble slowing down at the finish line. So what happened?
Eve, as you mentioned earlier, mental health has really come up to the fore. And I think mental health generally, speaking in the Caribbean, I think a friend of mine and I were having this conversation very recently, that we in the Caribbean, we don't pay attention to mental health well enough. And I think when these athletes go to Tokyo, or, you know, the Olympic Games, even over the years, especially the times when, you know, St. Lucia has been represented, you know, shameless plug into the St. Lucia team. Y'all did excellently well, no matter what. There's a pressure because these people are going with an entire country on their shoulders, right? And I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just saying that they're with that pressure psychologically, it can cause them not to perform as best as they know they can. And because of that, a lot of the times, you know, they would come home with a bronze medal. Sometimes they don't make it to the finals. And even knowing that I didn't make it to the finals and, oh my God, it's a bronze and it's not. That is something that does huge work on the psyche. I can imagine, you know? So that's something to consider. I think that's one of the things that it causes a real big pressure. But then again, on the flip side, you have to think of, okay, what about the people that always get gold medals? What's the difference? What's going on? Like, are you saying that they have perfect mental health? Only God knows. I don't know. But yeah, that's my views on that.
Vanetta,
Yes.
thank you for talking about that. What I wanted to ask you, what I was asking you was, if you have trouble slowing down, why haven't we read about you running in a race where you don't have to slow down? Because you
Oh
don't
my
want you to slow
God,
down.
the audio is not working because I did not hear that. I am so
Right.
sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, I was wondering, like,
I have not, never been an athlete. Listen, I tried out for netball, true story. Tried out for netball in second form when I was in secondary school. And that didn't work out. And I did try out for sports, running 1,500 meters.
Okay.
I think I got like second or third place. I can't remember. I was 13, 14 years old. And nope, just left sports alone. And yeah, I think that's why I'm not in Tokyo running. I think I'm good at running, my brain running, my mouth probably running. Yeah, I'm good at that.
Good.
See running on the track? No.
all right. Sweet. So typically back when you were little, the narrative you kept hearing was, she's going to be like, you know, like when people who chat a lot, like, oh, she's gonna make a good lawyer. When you have somebody who is an artist and like, oh, she's, you know, what was it that you kept hearing, or was it people kept saying when you were little?
My mom, may she continue to rest in peace, always thought I would be a lawyer. Why? Because I always had a whole bunch of papers. I was always writing.
Oh, okay.
I would have a bunch of papers around me, and she would say in our French Creole language, she would call me avocati papier,
Woo.
which means which means the lawyer of the paper lawyer, the lawyer that always had papers around her. So my mother thought I would be a lawyer. I'm not sure what other people would have thought me to be, because usually, you know, in school they would ask you, you know, what would you like to be when you grow up, right?
And what would you say?
Being very honest,
Yeah.
one or two times I kind of lied and said, oh, I want to be an accountant. Oh, because I was really indecisive. But then by the time I got to college, I said I would like to be the owner of my own business.
Nice. And manifest destiny. Manifest
for that.
destiny. So, you know, when we're young, right? We typically get in trouble, you know. Like what was it you couldn't have been this angelic saint all your life. What was it that you were getting in trouble with for most of the time?
Thank you for putting me on the spot.
That's all right.
Beyonce. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's okay.
That's an art. Not a lot of people can do that well, and you do that excellently well.
It's my show. It's okay.
I would say that, well, one, I was not a fighter.
Ooh, okay.
Was not a fighter.
Me neither. The only person I fought
wasn't-
was my sister. That's it.
My sister is I hope she does not kill me for this, but my sister's always been the warrior of the family. She was always the one to defend.
Okay.
With fists, if need be, but she never got herself in trouble. Love you, Cecilia Philippou. Love you very much. I got in trouble for talking a lot in class.
Okay, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, but I was kind of like a goody two shoes in school. Like my mom would not come to school if my teacher would say, "Oh, bring your mother to school tomorrow," it would not be for something serious. Your daughter's talking a little too much. She should pay attention a little more and talk a little less. But yeah, that was basically it. Kind of boring. Sorry.
So, okay, I'm going to transition because there was a point in time where you somehow figured you were going to go into fashion and modeling and the whole works. Like, was that because you were into pageantry, or there was just something that drew you to those things?
Funny story that growing up, I always loved seeing fashion shows on television. As few of it as we saw in the Caribbean in those days. Always was flipping through magazines and so forth, but I was terribly shy. I was an introvert, terribly shy. I didn't like makeup when I was in secondary school. I did not like these things, but I always had this dream of going on stage and being confident. And so when I was 17 years old, like my older sister, she always knew that I had that in me. And so she introduced me to a very well-known model, former Carnival Queen, Miss Patricia Events. And Patricia introduced me to Mr. Richard Young of Trinidad and Tobago, Mannequins Image Caribbean. And when I asked my sister, like, okay, why the introduction? She's like, for you to model, of course. And I'm like, what did you do? But I was very, very thankful for that. And I went through my training with Mr. Richard Young and the Mannequins of St. Lucia in the year 2000. And a lot of the times I was one of the very few trainees in class, and it was very nerve-wracking. But looking back on it, it's one of the reasons why, even though I would be talkative in class with my friends, but to stand up in front of the class and read, it would be like I'm sweating bullets. And so I always had that desire to want more confidence. And I think that's what drew me to modeling. Especially seeing the people that were ahead of me, that were modeling before me. You know, I looked at them like, wow, I wanna be confident like that in 6-inch heels, you know? So, I mean, that is what really drew me. And from the time I put on those heels, I have never looked back.
Wow. So what was your talent at any of these shows?
Well, the beautiful thing about with Mr. Richard Young is that he taught Caribbean performance and not the stoic modeling.
Wow.
And so it inculcated the modeling, yes, the posture, yes, but it also included a bit of drama, a bit of dance, a bit of, je ne sais quoi. It was different.
Wow.
When a fashion showcase was put on by Mannequins Image Caribbean, you're gonna get a whole show, a total show. And so, yes, I learned the fundamentals of walking in heels and having that confidence, but I also tapped into the other areas of my life to be a little more artistic, especially when advertising when I have on. A lot of the times Richard would put some really crazy, huge head wraps on, because I'm 5'5", I'm one of the shortest in the class, but I was always a strong walker. And so a lot of the times I would be opening up a set or closing a set, and he would have this elaborate headdress or something, and he would tell me, Vanessa, when you get to the end of that runway, boom, boom, this is what you do. And I enjoyed that. So it was that sort of thing that just brought me to life. And I looked forward to a rehearsal or to an actual showcase.
Sweet. We're going to circle back to some of what you just spoke about in a little bit. I wanted to actually tap into another area that I know you're passionate about. What do you think your childhood would have been like, or your youth years, if social media was prevalent back then? What do you think that experience would have been like?
Wow. Back then, I think if social media is as it is now,
right,
was that back then, I think I would have one photo on, not like a carousel of photos.
Okay.
I would just have one photo that I would really like on, and I would not post very often, simply because of how introverted I was. I was one of those.
Interesting.
I would call myself a very interesting conundrum.
Introvert,
I will
extrovert.
be outspoken. Yes, I'll be outspoken, with certain people, but when it came to presenting myself, I was like a train wreck. It was bad. So I think, yeah, social media would not have been active for me. I don't think so.
When I say high five, what emotions do you feel?
Oh my God, high five. You bringing back the memories there. Boy.
Yeah, right. I know. I knew you had to have some kind of connection. Yeah, high five was the ish back then, man. It was.
Oh, definitely.
I liked it.
I liked it.
I liked it.
I liked it. Yeah. Yeah. High five and MySpace were the thing.
Yep.
And if you did not have MySpace, you were not in the business. Yeah, I was part of High Five. I carried out not carried out, but I had a lot of conversations with people. A lot of conversations with people, like messaging. I didn't really have a messaging thing. They had like you leave a comment or you send a message and then you check back if the person responded.
Yeah.
I had a lot of that going on.
Good going. We're gonna circle back to that in a little bit, but
Yeah.
you're like a version of Olivia Pope, right? What is it that you have that she didn't have?
That is the first time that somebody referred to me as a version of Olivia Pope. I am floored. I am speechless. I don't know how to respond to that.
You're an image consultant. You're into PR. Like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what she did. So you're a version of Olivia Pope, in my opinion. But what is it that you enjoy about that line of work? And I'm pretty sure you would have seen some cringeworthy moments amongst politicians, and in a strange twist of events. I'm actually going to talk a little bit about politics, as I want you to indulge me on any one of those cringe moments that you felt that you had the skills to turn around should they had consulted you. And the reason I'm asking you to do this is really to give our listeners a sense of a path to redemption after a public gaffe or mistake that got someone into some hot soup.
Okay, you ready for me tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Bring it on, Deontay. Bring it on. Okay. An example, because the thing about it is in politics, it's a lot of mudslinging.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people would get hold or would create falsified documents to prove a point. We see that a lot across the Caribbean, across the world. And as a public relations person, public relations specialist, there are things that you respond to and there are things you do not respond to. And some politicians need to know the difference. I believe if you are a man or woman of integrity and your constituents know who you are, there is no need to, when something like that comes in, to rush and go make a statement. Once it is not damaging, so offensive that it needs a comeback. If it is something where, your people know who you are, and your people themselves, when it is posted on social media, will say, no, this is not who she is. No, this is not who he is. You remain silent. There are a couple of people that actually exhibited this very behavior, and I applaud them for that.
That's good.
I applaud them for that. So when you think of it from a PR standpoint, politicians need to learn that, not like an old adage of St. Lucian culture says, not every dog that barks, you need to chase them.
Right.
I would say it in Creole, but then I don't want to lose you. So I don't want to lose you. So yeah, you have to learn that, because the the constant back and forth is what we need to veer away from as a people and really look at the real issues. So, yeah.
I love how you brought all of that together. You know, I'm going to, you know, I spoke earlier about seeing you at the Entrepreneurship World Cup regionals, and I tasted defeat that stung me pretty badly. And for me to have heard the organizers say, "Smile for one last picture," I was like, how do I smile knowing how I feel inside, you know? And so in pageantry, right, I don't think, because it came to my mind, because I'm wondering, like, people don't appreciate the amount of work that goes into the preparation for the big night. And if someone is not as graceful in their loss, especially when they felt, right, they knew they had a good chance to win, I can't be mad at them anymore, because it was difficult for me. So in your experience, can you share some instances that you had where you had to find the right words, the right actions to show support to someone that worked so hard and ended up with a result that they felt they didn't deserve? Like, what is your strategy to help them in that kind of situation? Support.
Well, it's amazing that you do that, because I do have a short story to
Yeah,
share.
this is about stories. Talk to me.
Yeah, I got stories. I was actually a contestant in the 2004 Miss St. Lucia World Pageant. And, you know, coming out of modeling into pageantry, I had to learn it was not the same thing. And I put my best foot forward. I did. At the end of the night, I got the award for Miss Catwalk Sensation for the modeling segment. And I also snatched the award for Best Interview.
Sweet.
By that time, the crowd really believed I was getting the crowd.
Yep.
Like I felt that electricity while I was on the stage. And they called the third place, the fourth, third, second.
And you thought,
And
like, yeah, definitely, this is
I
me. Yeah.
thought, okay, Benatis, either you've lost or you've won. And I could hear my family in the crowd screaming, my friends screaming, like, oh my God, Vanessa has the crown. Vanessa is representing St. Lucia in China. Oh my God. And they called the name of another young lady. I felt my heart sink to my feet.
Aww.
But I remembered Richard Young's training to remain calm and keep a brave face. And I went and I did congratulate the young lady. My piece of advice for somebody who did not get the title, or they didn't win, or they didn't place, is that the whole experience teaches you an inner strength in yourself. And at the time when you get the news that you did not make the cut according to the judges, all you could do is respect the judge's opinion, but that should not diminish what you think about yourself. And if you think that you put your best foot forward and you tried your best, guess what? You put your best foot forward and you tried your best in yourself, in your inner self. That's the piece of advice I'll give.
I like that. And you know what you're doing right now is putting your best foot forward, because I saw what you're doing on LinkedIn. You are trying to give 15 persons a free social media audits.
That's correct.
As a social media strategist, how's that going for you? And thank you for that. I mean, we all could.
Of course, you're quite welcome. It is going marvelously well. I mean, this is my second run at it.
Aww.
A few weeks ago, I did put it out, and I did get people. A lot more people. I think I'm getting more than 15 actually, based on the number of responses I'm getting.
Nice.
I am solidly zoomed out tomorrow with meetings. I am excited about it because it really gives me an opportunity to meet people of different industries, different standings. I mean, I had an amazing social media audit yesterday from a gentleman from India. Like, that's crazy. Like, the beauty of social media and the beauty of the internet. And so I'm meeting different people of different cultures who have different like versions of what they call as a good work ethic. And I'm actually going through their social media platforms and really giving them the advice that they're asking for. I am really excited about that.
There's a rewarding experience when we're purposeful with your life and knowing that you're making a difference. So I know you rarely have bad moments when you're in this zone. So I'm happy for you and thank you for being gracious with that initiative, and I hope more people will do what you're doing. And so I find that we spoke about mental health earlier, and I want to circle back to this because it's becoming a topic that we're actually now comfortable with, especially with the proliferation of these athletes and celebrities speaking about it. And in your line of work, image consulting, modeling, and coaching and pageantry, coming full circle, mental health has got to play a role. I mean, what do you think should be your strategy moving forward for persons interested in all of this to maintain and to be in tune with their mental health, like to be healthy mentally, because it's of no surprise that in this industry, like at least in your areas like modeling and fashion, and it's resulted in lives being affected negatively, eating disorders, low self-esteem, and so I want to know, like, what are your thoughts on that moving forward? Because we're coming full circle here. I've tried to piece everything together, and clearly mental health is a big thing. So I want to hear what can you say to piece that together? How can people be intentional about making sure that they're grounded while pursuing these areas that you have many hands in?
Okay, that's a great question. In my model training experience over the past 21 years of being involved in Caribbean fashion and even touching into entertainment, because I have also worked with musicians, recording artists, which is where Evolution Public Relations Management stemmed from, is seeing the need for PR for musicians from St. Lucia. First, it takes you to find out from that person what's their current state of mind. If they're coming into modeling, or if they're coming into any kind of career that requires public appearances, you need to know where they are. And some of them are super introverted, like how I was in school. Some of them talk a big game, but in truth and in fact, they really hate how they look. So when I work with a client, especially when it comes to image consultancy, I ask them a few questions, not to get into their head, but to get a feel of who they are as a person. Because what I tell my clients is that you're putting out who you are. There is a know you, like you, trust you factor in the world of business, in the world of any industry at all. So once you find out where their mind is, as a consultant, it's my job to get them to a better place mentally. To quote a favorite, line from a book that I adore, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Whatever we think of, we manifest. And if you are a scared individual, or if you think that you're not good enough, guess what? You're gonna manifest that. So it's up to you as an individual to decide, I want to be different and I want to be better. I accept help. I want to be better. And I think I got to that space very early in life when I saw that I wanted to be more confident, because I didn't like to cringe if somebody was like, oh, Vanessa, come, let's sing karaoke with me, and I have a whole bunch of people watching, I wanted to change. And I think for the people, how to create that kind of foundation for them to be ready for that world is to say, ask them, who are you now? And then ask them, who would you like to be? And then ask them, are you willing to work towards who you would like to be? And if they say yes, then you can be of service to them and help them to grow. And it doesn't have to be you to be the one that has all the answers,
Right.
but it takes a village. And so
Right.
whatever, expertise that's out of your sphere, you get them that help. And you help and you encourage them. I really believe in the art of encouragement, not fake encouragement, like real and true encouragement. You know the difference. That helps in stabilizing mental health. If you know somebody is really and truly, that person has your back, and that person is there for you, and that person is encouraging you, you actually grow from it. So I think that's a good foundation. You need to find out. I mean, as a strategist, that's what I do every day. I find out where my clients are, want to know, I ask them, where do you want to be in the next year, 2 years, whatever. And then I help them map out a blueprint. And it should be the same thing when it comes to mental health in any capacity.
I see one of your clients message you on LinkedIn right now. I just hit that notification.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Sorry.
The show is soon over. So we have two more
Yeah.
things I want to do before we finish. I mean, this went fairly quickly, but when things are happening good, they just pass by pretty quick. So I want you to teach me a
Yes.
little bit of Creole.
Oh boy. Okay.
Right. 'Cause just in case I visit St. Lucia again, I can blend in a little bit more. So I'm going to ask you about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things to tell. 5 things. Is it 5 or 6? 5. It's 5.
Okay.
All right. First one. My name is Enoite.
No more say anointing.
No mue se Enoite.
No more
No mue
say
se.
anointing.
Oh, even kind of right. No mue se Enoite. All right.
Yeah. Hey, you got it. You got it. You got
All
it.
right. Next one. I am happy you came on my show.
I am happy you came on my show.
Yeah.
Putting me on the spot and knowing, say, stop it.
It's all right.
My ancestors might strike a, yeah. I am happy you are on my show.
All right. That's okay.
Oh God, I'm stumped. I'm
All right,
stumped.
fine. That's all right. The next one is also good. I think you're a lovely
Okay.
person.
Moi kwe ou se un bon moun.
Mwekwe se mo boom. All right.
Moi kwe
Mwekwe u.
ou se
Mwekwe u se
un
bon
bon moun.
moon. All right. Next one. You did good tonight.
Yeah, you did good today. Ou fait bien au soir.
U se bue osia.
Oh no. Let me break it out. Let me break it out. Ou
U
fait
se
with an F.
Oh, u fe. Okay.
Bien
U fe bien.
au soir.
U fe bien osia. Oh wow.
Au soir. Yeah, you
Au
always got
soir.
it. You always got it.
And the last one is thank you for coming on my show.
What's the last one?
Thank you for coming on my show.
Merci.
Merci.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Sorry, my mind is and my St. Lucian people are butchering me in the comments. Hey, I was put on the spot.
It's
I was
okay.
not ready.
It's all right. It's all right. She wasn't ready. All right.
I wasn't ready, guys.
All right,
I wasn't
last
ready.
thing. 1 more minute, and then we go. It's a rapid fire session. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. Yes, I'm putting you on the spot again, but you got to know the answer to all these questions. All right, number 1. Comfort food for me is, this is first person. Comfort food.
Pizza.
Pizza. All right, number 2. Can't wait to visit this country.
Italy.
All right, on a fancy date, this is what I would wear. Like, this is what I would love to wear from head to toe. Accessories and all. Describe it.
Heavy set earrings, spaghetti strap sundress, in orange and matching sandals.
Sweet. I can picture that. All right. When I've broken the speed limit, this is the fastest I've ever gone in a car.
I've never driven, but but not yet. I would say 100 miles an hour, and I was petrified.
Okay, so you're not going to have a heavy foot. All right, number 5.
No.
When I feel low, this perks me up instantly.
Worship music.
All right. On a Netflix and chill date, this is my go-to type of flick.
Go-to type of flick.
Comedy.
Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, not bad. All right. Not bad. All right. Junior pops out and says, "You have been selected by Beyonce and Rihanna to do their makeup for the next video, but they both have it on the same day, same time, different countries. Who would you pick, and why? How would you let the other one down?"
Not fair at all.
It's okay.
I would say Rihanna, and I would tell Beyonce, it's a Caribbean thing. I love you still. Please forgive me.
Okay. You're not. Okay. Good answer. All right. Number 8. My superpower as a woman is
Strategizing.
Number 9. I instantly melt when I see this. Oh my gosh.
Good-looking man.
Ooh. All right. Clearly, you're not.
Oh my God!
You're not.
I said that on air.
Yeah. Well, now you're insulting me because you haven't melted. So anyway, number 10. The best part about being on the show is
The total spontaneity of it all. Best part.
Awesome
Best part.
sauce. Well, that's been Only Good News with Vanetta without a vendetta. That's what I call her. And it's been amazing. We brought the energy. We brought lots of chats. I didn't even get to finish asking her everything, but it's okay. That means we had a good show. She was a good guest and a good co-host and everything. So thank you. If there's any one last thing you want to say, you can say it, and then I'll say my last piece.
Great. Thank you, Aonte, for
You're
this
still butchering my name, by the way.
time.
Go ahead.
Oh God. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed myself. And I just want to say, Caribbean people, entrepreneurs continue to be strong. Things are going to get better. I believe as an entrepreneur, we are the lifeblood of any nation.
Right.
And I believe that we are going to continue to soar through this pandemic, this global pandemic. And I just want to say thank you to all the St. Lucian people who came on.
Yes.
I love you guys.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
I love you guys. So that's it for me. Hope to be here again.
Yeah, this is good. Good people. We expanded the listening audience beyond the diaspora of St. Kitts, and I'm on here every Thursday, same time, and I have a different guest, and it's different conversations. So tune in, be a part of the family. And, with that, I'm just going to say, like I always do, just to remember to be kind and to spread love. All right, see you guys next week. And coming up next is Latin Twist with Jerry. We're going to listen to some salsa and some music and everything that's different. All right, thank you. Peace out. Bye.
More and more cable customers are getting their cable internet package upgraded for free.
I paid 3 months and I got upgraded from Flash